welcome to another episode of the Chaotic Minds. Today we are on episode 10, and we've got a great show today. I am your host and anchor, DJ Thunderbase, aka Devontae Ewing, and I am joined also with my co-host.
Hello, guys, girls, and squirrels. It's Henry Montney here, also known as Mayhem Hearts Mace.
And I'm Dark Trooper, coming from you live from my couch from an undisclosed location.
I knew it.
We are going to kick things off, as we always do, with our weather.
It's gonna be cold.
Yes. Cold and rainy.
As you can see here, we've got what looks to be rain going all the way up through Friday, as we will not be seeing the sun again until Saturday, but we will be within the low to mid 50s up until Saturday, and this weekend when we get into the 60s as we head into next week, where it'll be nice and sunny to partly cloudy and sunny. But everything seems to be looking like it's kind of on a fluctuation, but hey, it's Michigan. How's it looking like in your guys' area?
Cold, wet, and rainy.
Yeah, what he said. It's not so pretty for the next few days or more. Yeah.
No,
It was all last week it was in the 80s and 70s, and then this week it dropped to the 50s and then rainy. And at night it's going between the mid 30s to the low 40s. It's not fun right now.
I
Gotta watch out.
for the farmers. I mean, all those plants are gonna die. They're gonna get they're gonna lose some stuff if they keep getting these cold temperatures.
If it gets too cold, yes. And or if it gets too rainy and it starts drowning the plants. That's the problem too, is flooding. Sometimes that does happen here, especially in Michigan. We do have floods. It's interesting when you see the bridges and people try to drive through them and they don't have a snorkel. Like the vehicles that have snorkels, it's really fun to watch. The vehicles that don't, oh, nope.
Yeah, it's going to be the same thing on the West Coast too as well. It's going to be cool, wet, and rainy, and with some occasional sunshine on come days.
All right, but that'll be more near the weekend, you said?
Yeah, it's going to be more to the weekend, and it's going to go back into cloudy, rainy, and the temperature's going to start rising by end of next week.
Remember, it'll be Memorial Day weekend, everybody, so be safe out there. I know some people are going to get party hardy. Do not drink and drive. And if you are intoxicated in any kind of form, not just alcohol, such as THC or such, please have a designated driver or wait until you're actually sober. Safety first.
Yes.
Safe sex is important.
Hello. All right. So, relationship advice. When it comes down to it for all of you, a relationship is not just one person. You got to remember this. It's two people in this. When you're in this, you got to think about you and the other person and how you and the other person react accordingly. So, if someone's angry or stressed out, don't take it on them. And don't always make it about yourself. If you do something and you oops or mess up, admit, hey, I was wrong. I'm sorry. Let's correct that error. So that's a nice little advice for anybody for this week for relationship advice. Admitting you're wrong if you're incorrect. If not, making sure that you know that it's not always about you in the relationship. It's about both of you. It's a give or take for both sides, not just one side. Like a scale, like a Libra weighing its balances. Would you guys have any kind of questions or anything to bring up for relationship advice that you'd like to ask?
How does one navigate the other your partner's family?
Family, now that's the hard part. I've gone through many different relationships in my life, and sometimes you get the family members that all love you, or you'll get the ones that hate or spite you.
Or a combination of the two?
Oh yeah, for me it's with my wife and everything. I'd say most of her family doesn't like me. Some of them kind of like me and everything, but most of them it's more of class issue because I'm from the ghetto and the poor, and I worked my way up and I built myself into a status. And then when I met some of them, when they tried to brag and or boast, I was just like, oh, cool. And they're like, what have you done? I'm like, oh, you mean being on TV, being acting, voice acting, fighting, sparring, raising money for people, helping out everybody, literally putting my own life on the line to make sure that people can have a dinner the next week, or like Thanksgiving and or Christmas or Hanukkah. Done a lot over my years, and they would just drop their jaw and I'm like, if you don't believe me, here's some videos. And I would just send them links or just show it to them right off my phone. The movie ones are great. I was in some comedy ones like Dining and Dragons. That one's probably one of my favorite comedian spots I've done so far. And I just only had like one line, but most of it was about physical reaction. But any other questions besides that? Because the family thing that it comes down to if they spite you or hate you. That's the
I feel it's like or they view you as an inferior.
That's another one I can see. That another one's a big thing that's a big issue for you or us or anybody in general is say the mother of the person you married or on the opposition, they wanted you to marry who they wanted they marry, not who you want to marry. And sometimes that comes up in the conversation. You have to bring that up to them and explain to them, hey, I want to marry this person because I want to, not for you. It's not for your part of the family. It's for me, for my happiness, and for our happiness together. And if you go by trying to please your family members, all you're going to do is drag down your own relationship. Just be yourself. Your family members accepted who you were back then. They can accept who you are now. The only thing is if you marry somebody that's a danger, there's a different thing there. If there's like red flags, such as sort of spending or using money or screwing you over, lying or cheating or what, or destroying your stuff or selling it behind your back, stuff like that. But be mindful. There are some families at times that will do shady things to get you to break up. I've had some past experiences where they would make up rumors and or lies or try to set you up or threaten you. That one's fun to me. I love when they threaten me. That's kind of my favorite. I had an ex where her mother was a doctor. She threatened me and we had it all recorded, and I smiled going, I could get your license taken away forever because you just said that you would let me die on the table after getting injured in the ring being a doctor, and if you were with my doctor. I was like, thank you. I have all of this recorded. As she looks up and there's a camera right above her, and I'm smiling going, location, location, location. She walked away angry, and I was just like, don't think your daughter and me are going to be dating much longer anyways. And I was right. I left after that. I was like, I'm not going to deal with this because there was more to it than that. But anything else for questions before we go to the next segment?
I can't think of any.
All right. Safety tips, people. Here's one of the most basic ones that I can think of since I grew up as a kid. Don't run with scissors in your hand. First one you guys are going to learn about. Another one that doesn't exist really anymore. Don't stick your finger in a pencil sharpener.
What's a pencil sharpener?
Yeah, these days that's a rare thing to say. Like I see them sometimes. I just want to buy one just to have it now.
I want to get like the vintage ones. That's the one I want.
I like the crank ones. They have the old crank ones. That's what I want. I just want to get one of those because I still use pencil and paper all the time.
Or what was it? Particularly in with these holidays with the holiday coming up, as Henry said before about don't be safe when you're drinking, be safe when you're driving, don't drink and drive. If you're going to get involved in coitus, please be responsible. Wear protection always. What else? If you're going to partake in other things besides alcohol, please be responsible. Have a designated driver. Don't stick your finger in. Don't let your kid play with forks in near wall sockets.
Yes. Don't let your kids find out the hard way what it is to be a Looney Tune. See, the thing about cartoons back in the day were they were semi-violent for a reason. They were to teach you a lesson. They were to show you, hey, kid, you remember when the cat over here was chasing the bird and the bird stuck the cat's tail in the electric thing and it turned into an angel and flew away? Yeah. You notice the cat's not there anymore? Yeah, the cat died. And the kids go, oh, like stuff like that, or the creepy skeletons or whatnot. Like I remember
or propaganda.
Like I grew up with the old cartoons all the way up now, like stuff from all the way from I'd say the 40s and up, because my grandparents and my parents would show me all that, and I'd watch Looney Tunes forever and cartoon Three Stooges and everything. But a lot of it was safety tips. They scared kids for a reason with certain cartoons to teach them a lesson. There were some scary ones out there for a reason, and now they make it all humble. Like, no, like educational is right and good, but you do need some scary ones purposely to get them to understand. But other safety tips as well, I would just suggest for people out there that when you have a glass bottle while you're drinking any kind of liquid, such as a Sobe, a glass Coca-Cola, or anything else, or alcoholic beverages, please do not throw them out in the street. Do not throw them out the sidewalk. You risk harming kids, children, animals, dogs, people of all different natures. You're blowing a pedal bike tire or a car tire, or you hurt yourself. You threw it. You got stupid. You laughed about it and you walked, and it just happened to slice right through your foot, right through your shoe and everything. Please don't be doing that kind of stuff. There's trash cans around, or you can recycle accordingly. Hey, you make more money off collecting these sometimes. So please don't be smashing glass around. It's just not right, and it's very dumb. I learned my lesson in doing this stuff when I was young, so I would like for everybody else to do that.
Just in general, with the holidays coming up, just be responsible. Like, if you like I said, have a designated driver. If you're going to be drinking, just have fun, but be safe about it. If you're going to set up fireworks, don't point it at people. It saddens me I have to say this, because I would imagine that would just be like, no, really, don't point fireworks at people. That seems like a good idea.
No, it's not smart. Just point explosives. I am a certified explosive handler as well, and it's not a safe and or smart idea. Been doing it for a long time. You don't point. You don't direct it towards trees. You don't direct it towards power lines. You always keep body parts away from wherever the projectile is, depending on what it is as well. Do not hold it in your hand. Do not hold bottle rockets. Do not put them anywhere. Orifice, clothes, pockets, mouth, ear. Don't do that. It's an explosive. It goes boom.
And it hurts.
Yeah, you don't put that in your body parts or around your body parts thinking a joke. Like, look, I can hold it in my armpit. Oh, I just blew off part of my pec. Like, no.
I blew off my entire shoulder.
Yeah. So be mindful when it comes to that kind of stuff. And now, is there anything else when it comes to safety tips for tonight? Or do we want to come to the next segment?
Medical bills are expensive. That's all I have to say.
Oh, yes.
Also, don't go around kicking things when you get pissed off.
You know exactly who we're talking to.
But on a lighter note, let's give some well-deserved celebrities their happy birthday wishes.
Woo. Did we end on the 14th or
I believe we.
the 14th?
Yeah, it was the 14th.
Yes, 14th.
All right. So let me get to it then. Birthdays in May.
I got one, Mark Zuckerberg.
Oh, we already did that.
Oh, I think we already did the 14th then.
Yeah, we definitely did the 14th then because I had a big old thing about that one. We're not going to get back into that one though. We already did that once. We're not doing that twice. We're not going to
start with May 15th.
Yep. With a right here, got a guy called Role Model, 28, pop singer. He literally calls himself Role Model.
Emmett Smith, the football player, 56.
We got Ray Lewis, 50. He's a football player as well.
Oh.
I'm not even going to try that. David Carumsa.
Got someone called Smoke Perp, 28, the rapper. We'll do one more for this one before we jump to the next one.
No.
What would you like to do? You can do it.
No, you do it.
All right, I'm going to the 16th then. All right. Megan Fox.
The 16th. 007 himself, Pierce Brosnan.
Oh, yeah. He's I enjoyed him for 007. He's one of my favorites, but he's not the OG of my favorites.
No, he's also Dr.
Sean Connery's the OG.
Oh yeah. Oh, Sean Connery that's my go-to for 007.
He's
Megan. Yep. Megan Fox, 39 movie actress. Wow, she's 39.
She still looks good.
I hope none of it's plastic surgery because boy howdy, that's not going to look good later. All right. KK Arnold, 20, basketball player, female basketball player for the Women's League.
Janet Jackson, 59, pop singer.
Oh.
Joseph Morgan, 44, TV actor.
What's he in?
I'd have to check.
Oh, Vampire Diaries.
Oh.
Here's a funny one. Tucker Carlson, 56, journalist.
Ugh.
I think he's interesting, but there is that face he gives people. When he does that, I'm like, do you want a cookie?
Oh, Danny
Danny Trio. Man.
I love Danny Trio because he came from a very rough beginning and he made something with his life.
Some of his characters are portrayed as what he really was at one point in time in his life. Mm-hmm. And it's insane. He's 81, movie actor and such. I love this guy in Machete and Machete 2. I really do hope they try to make a Machete 3 because it was all based off a commercial and it just became an actual thing.
David Bernizo, 56. He was Angel.
Oh, yeah.
He was in Buffy the Vampire Slayer as well as his own spin-off of the same character, Angel.
And Bones.
Okay.
And Bones and SEAL Team.
Was he in any movies? No, that's a question.
No, I don't think so. I think he was an actor.
He was only just a TV actor.
I loved him in Angel and in Buffy, and man, there was some weird stuff that went on. After me and my wife rewatched it, we realized how interesting it was. All right, so we'll leave it at that one. We're going to go to the 17th now.
Oh, Bob Saget. Oh, he's dead?
Yeah, he died at 22.
Oh.
That's upsetting. He was a TV actor amongst all the other comedy stuff he did. We got another one right here. AJ Mitchell, 24, pop singer. You got one?
I'm looking.
Got Ryan. Oh, why do I do this myself? Orcha, 29,
Oh.
TV actor.
Another one sadly died. Bill Proxon.
I was literally just getting to him. I enjoyed him in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Game over.
He was a good guy. At least in the movies, he was fun. Got another one here. Matt Ryan, 40 for a football player. Let's do one more for this before we go to the next one.
Let's say David Elberg. He's from Sex and the City, and he played Stephen Barron in Sex and the City.
All right, we got Travis Hunter, 22, a football player for the 18th. We have Pope John Paul II when he died from 1920s to 2005, religious leader.
It's not that long ago.
Wow, then that was 25, or that was 20 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Tina Fey, 55, TV actress. She does not look 55.
No, she doesn't.
Oh, how about this one? Maria Margolis, movie actor. She plays Professor Sprout in the Harry Potter movies.
Oh, that's great.
By the way, we apologize if we mess up any names. We're very bad with names.
Oh yeah. Yep, you just did that one. So we'll do this last one. Spencer Brislin, 33, movie actor. That guy has a baby face forever.
Yeah, he played the kids. He played the Disney kid, and the Cat in the Hat.
He still looks young to this day. It's insane.
Mm-hmm.
I think he has that one, whatever that's called, but he has it so he just looks like he's young forever.
Yeah, it's baby face.
Mm-hmm.
I only get that when I shave. All right, now we're on the 19th.
Malcolm X, religious leader, 1925 to 1965.
I was just going to get to that one. That's funny. Andre the Giant.
Yes.
1946 to 1993. The biggest, the greatest of the pro wrestlers. Also, he was the one that kept the locker room in check.
The world.
Also, he was the strong man in The Princess Bride.
Yep, got another one as a wrestler, as well as Malika Block, 40. He's a pro wrestler.
Oh, he's a guitarist.
All right. And let's get one more in there before we go to the next one. Let's go with Michael Chi, 42, comedian.
Or how about one more? Well, just one more. Historical figure. Hugh Chung Mung, 1890 from 1996. He was an independent movement. He's in the Communist Revolution who led the. I'm not even going to pronounce that. Vietnam.
Wow.
To establish communist rule in the Democratic Republic of Vietnam.
So now we're on the 20th. We got Busta Rhymes, 53, rapper. Now, I liked Busta Rhymes. That man could rhyme on a dime so quick. It was insane. And just how he did it, it was...
He was also the one to dethrone Twista as the fastest rapper.
I know. That's what I thought was crazy. Is why didn't anybody ever appreciate or respect? I've never seen him win. Same thing with what was that other guy? Oh man, I can't remember his name right now. Damn. But he was a really good one too. He had the Hey Now song. But okay, keep going. Got John Party, 40, a country singer.
Timothy Orfalion. I gotta try. He was the main act. He was the deputy in Justified.
All right, we'll do one last one for it. Josh O'Connor, 35, movie actor. Now we're gonna do May 21st, where we're at right now. Happy birthday for everybody all the way up to now. Got Notorious Biggs,
The
1972 to
Notorious
1997. The rapper. Man.
B.I.G.
Oh, Mr. Tay, 73 years old, TV actor.
Ooh.
Beautiful.
Yeah, Mr. T is really cool.
I loved him in the World of Warcraft commercial. Maybe Mr. T knows how to use the computer. Maybe did you think that, Mr. Director?
Right. You got another one, Hutch Dano, 33, TV actor.
King.
Oh,
Boo.
here's one. Oh, it's a sad one right here. That was a wrestler. Chris Burnett, 1967 to 2007, pro wrestler. The one that sadly lost his mind and took his own life.
Ended life as his family.
Oh,
Yeah.
how about Lizzie Ellistein, TV actor? She played Dr. Lisa Cuddy in House MD.
Okay. Got one more we'll do right here. Jonathan Hyde, 77, movie actor.
What did he do?
Let's check that out.
He was in the Titanic, the Jumanji, the Mummy. What did he play?
That I don't. I usually go to his movie MDA.
Yeah,
But that was well. We're gonna do one more right here because she's just one of my favorite actresses from The Craft. Parazi Balak, 51, movie actress. She was the crazy witch girl. I knew a lot of girls that were like her too. Those are some times. Got some scars. It's weird. I got more scars from them than I did at fighting sometimes. But back to it. For you, DJ Thunderbase, all the birthdays.
Again, we wish all those celebrities a happy birthday.
Hello, all you conspiracy theorists, nut jobs out there. I think we should continue our discussion about the lion. Turn that down a little bit. About the lion from Warhammer 40K, Lionel Johnson, Part 2. This time, I'm going to talk about his more recent activities, with his return to the Imperium and in Imperial Nihilus. He now set up he not only defeated the entirety of the Thousand Eyes Warband and reuniting reuniting the fallen his fallen sons. He has also systematically set up a protectorate in Imperium Nihilus, so that they now have a place. Humanity has a fighting chance. They were chanting the lion, and when they were fighting. Now, I recently was trying to get that done, but there's other name of fame now that he's returned. He now has also fought his Demon Primarch Demon Primarch Angron in single combat and won, taking some blows, but for the most part came out unscathed. And he did so in the lore book, The Arcs of Omen. Now, I think that's pretty much covers Lionel Johnson. Now, let's get into a more exciting feature. Before I do that, do you guys have any more questions about Lionel Johnson?
Was he mostly just close range, or did he have any distance like bolters? Because I don't remember fully.
He now has a plasma pistol, but he was mostly known for his swordsmanship. But now that he's older, he now has been given he actually earned a thing called the Shield of the Emperor. This shield was given to him by his father. He actually had to earn it through fighting all of his brothers, a shadow that used his own brothers to fight him. He fought every single one of them. He took some blows, but he came out pretty much unscathed. they taunted him, they ridiculed him, they beat him, and they basically were taunting him to show him his doubts, but he actually earned the shield because of his loyalty and his fealty and his will. He's a very stubborn man. Now, any more questions?
For that, no, not right now. Can't wait for more lore.
No, I got one more. We're going to talk about the most epic. We're going to talk about the Second Legion, the most epic, the most tragic stories. Your heart will break. Your eyes will tear up. You'll be so fierce. And back to you, DJ Thunderbase.
That's hilarious. I love that. No, really, back to you.
It's game time.
Sega!
So what are we playing today?
I was thinking we could have a debate about Warhammer. What would you say, hypothetically, just a little scenario for you? Who would win in a fight? The modern day military, the entirety of the Earth, modern day military, versus one full chapter of Space Marines?
It's a hard one. I still put my money on the Space Marines in a messed up manner, but our own government doesn't tell us exactly what we have. But here's the issue, knowing our own people and how we are right now. Before we would let them take over, we would rather let everything burn. We would just destroy them in the process. Like, it's kind of dark.
It would be a napalm Sunday, pretty much.
If we knew they were coming and we prepared, it's one thing. If we didn't know they were coming, no, we would not hold. We would not have a chance. They'd probably come in the dark of night, and then our sensors will go nuts, and then by the time we realize what the hell it is, it's too late.
I think it's ultimately depending on which chapter you're talking about. Because if you're talking about like the Space Wolves or like the Dark Angels, yeah, they would
Game over.
Game over. Done. But if you're talking about like the Ultramarines or the Salamanders, I think that they would try negotiations first. Because first of all, one, if they're in a battle barge, there's nothing in our arsenal that could even touch that ship. True. They have void shields. They have weaponry that could literally level a city in one shot. They have weaponry that could literally ice the entire planet in one shot.
They could threaten us with exterminatus.
Yeah.
Even though they probably wouldn't do it for resources, but they would still use it as a threat just to scare the living hell out of us. And they'd probably just blow up something else. Like, watch this planet over here. See that? Yeah, you're next. What happened to Mercury? Yeah, what happened to Mercury? Oh, crap.
What Mercury? Not to mention the fact that, as far as I know, we don't have anything that could punch through.
Don't they have the virus bomb, too?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
The virus bomb that we cannot defend ourselves against at all.
Well, no, we would be totally screwed because the virus bomb could literally go through anything, turn it into a goo, break it down to the molecular level, turn it into a goo.
It'd be COVID times 100.
Oh no, it would be like every single flammable weapon in the world times 1,000.
Yeah. The viral bomb is like the scariest, worst thing you could really think of. But then they would destroy humanity, and then what would be left of their future?
There probably wouldn't be a future. My guess would be is that they would try negotiations, but the problem is that again, we don't have anything that could punch through their armor.
Now, say if
They're-
there's Imperial Guard, that could be one thing. We could hold off against a certain regiments of Imperial Guards, but not Space Marines.
No.
We barely take out one or two Space Marines with heavy explosives and weapons, let alone a tank or two, just to take on one Space Marine, let alone a Terminator, let alone
Or
a
even a
Dreadnought. Jeez, they send one Dreadnought and one Hellfire Dreadnought for backup. They're good. Hellfire
No,
gets
a
the backup and oh yeah, dude, if they just sent a Titan, it'd be over. It just everybody would bow instantly. They'd just land on the ground and everybody would be like,
I surrender.
just no. It has a gun for a dick.
No, that's the Imperial Titan. That's the Emperor class Titan.
I
That's
know,
only
and
the Emperor class Titan.
it's huge and it's funny, and yes, it does have a giant.
Yes, it does have a giant dick for a cannon for a dick.
And it'll level anything it hits. I watched it take out another Titan's leg, just like, oh, you think you're nope.
But back to I think we would, if we did fight, we would put up a fight. But
Yeah.
ultimately, because we're ultimately so divided, and
We would
America,
lose. If we were united, like this would make us united, but it wouldn't make
enough.
us united fast enough. Like that's the one problem with our whole world, and just like, yes, you can have your separate countries and separate language stuff. We should still be under the understanding of like we each have our own banner of country, but there should be the banner of the world. We're humans. And we all bleed, we all breathe, we should all unite. And if we did, we would be mighty. We would be able to do all the things. Like I believe our world we're coming to is more like a Star Trek kind of mixed with a Babylon 5. Like we're mixed kind of with those two. That's going to probably happen. The only thing we don't have is the replicators. If we had replicators, it would change everything because that's what happened in Star Trek. Literally, once they got replicators, it was game changer.
And I love how the replicator became when they in Voyager. That one simple replicator could change the entirety of a civilization's life.
Yep.
What else was there? Yeah, they would take casualties, but like to them would be acceptable casualties.
Now, what do you think would be the craziest thing that we would have? DJ Database, do you have an idea that any country that would have anything insane or crazy that would put up a good fight? Like it would surprise them? You would know more of the Asian countries. I'm thinking like Japan or something, or
Yeah, mainly Japan or China.
pull up some mobile suits or some shit. They'll fight for a little bit. They'll still go down, but they would hold their own. The only thing is, I think what would happen is a lot of our own would shoot nukes. And
Nukes wouldn't do anything.
I know, but that's the problem. They'd still do it. It might get a couple ships
We
or
would
something if they're lucky.
probably
But
see
we'd rain acid.
nukes more from like Russia or the European countries or even America, but I see the Asian countries using more like ray guns or rail guns.
Oh, America has a lot of rail guns.
Railguns would probably do something.
Yes,
but
rail guns.
The nukes, the nukes would, if they try to nuke the ship, they wouldn't do anything because they have
Rod of God. They could do something with the rods of God, but they would only. There's going to be casualties on both sides. Period.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You're devastating. Yes, you sure you took out that squad of Space Marines. You just took out a whole city in the process. You had to kill everybody to kill just 10 guys. Maybe 11 if they had their sergeant with them. And that's a full squad. And you still might have not even killed the damn dreadnought unless you hit it directly. It might have just got thrown against the wall and got back up. And if a predator tank, it depends too. If it's a land raider, it just flip over. The damn thing it's a double track. It just keeps going. It's kind of like a dangerous flippy. But besides that, anything else for games? Have you played any recently that have been enjoyable? Because like Only thing I've been doing is
currently
D&D.
playing Doom Eternal, the Ancient Gods. Finishing that up before I move on to Dark Age.
Ooh, nice. Yeah, I want to get back into playing some games too on a PC. I just haven't had time. Got to get my subscription back for a Nintendo so I can jump back on some Mario Kart. I need to start pissing people off in the world again. That was fun. But I think that'll be it for gaming. Back to you.
Any news for any upcoming events, real quick?
Yes, we do. We have in June 7th and June 8th, we have the Downriver Comics and Collectors Show. We have that starting off. It'll be a Saturday and a Sunday. It'll be starting at 10 a.m. both days, but 6 p.m. on Saturday, and Sunday will be at 3 p.m. We have the Lincoln Park High School at the gymnasium. There will be many people there, such as the Gray Mercenary Knights doing their combat and performances. We'll be even having DJ Thunderbase himself live there performing and playing his music. Also having the comic book Universal Battles, Big Brain Comics, and Big Ben's Comic Oasis will be there as well with special guest Bill Morrison for Legendary Artist.
Nice.
And there's also going to be costume contest with $100 prize for under 16 and up, or 16 and up, and then 15 and under.
My costume will be very tired, overworked worker.
Yeah. Got some ideas, homie. Got some ideas.
But now it's time for the moment everyone's been waiting for, our political chat.
I think today we should talk about leadership. What makes a leader?
I think that, because it's going to kind of go into what I need to talk about anyways. You guys noticed the immigration house? The left loved it. Trump goes and grabs South Africans, brings them back. They're actually being a threat. And yes, just because of the color of their skin, everybody hated on them. They were all praising them until they found out what the color of their skin was. Kind of messed up. And there was people talking about death and killing of all those people from that country. So Trump's sitting there as a leader, having the South African leader recently come in there with him, talking to him about this scenario and situation. He decided to bring in a TV and said, you know what, I'm just going to show you the news. Turns it on, lets them see it, and he just, in shock and awe, that his own country was talking about this. He's going, we know, and it's messed up. It shouldn't be happening. It's like, we shouldn't be calling for anybody dying. I think that was a good thing. Now, he does have some bad things he's been doing, but that was a good thing he did. Showing both sides, going, listen, dude, you're not seeing both sides of the picture. Here's what's really going on. Now, what was the leadership thing that you wanted to talk about?
Well, I actually think of, when I think of a good leader, I think of C.S. Lewis, the creator of the Chronicles of Narnia. He actually has one called the 10 tenets of the 10 traits of a leadership. And he emphasized this in some of his books. One of them is humility, vision, morals or ethics, vision, courage, intelligence, compassion and love, duty, resolve, inspiration, and creativity. Is 10 talents that C.H. Lewis, I think he said it best in the Chronicles of Narnia. A king should be, if I can remember, I haven't read the Chronicles of Narnia in years. A king should be the first in the attack and the last in the retreat. If there is famine, and which there will be, the king must eat a scantier meal than his people and laugh twice as hard. I think I'm quoting a couple of them, but I know there's more.
Oh yeah, I understand that. I'm just thinking of the only thing I think about is that the king will not last long. They'll have to have a new king right after.
Well, you can't be a leader if you have no people to lead.
Oh yeah, I completely agree. There is 100% leadership in there, and I do almost all exactly those checkpoints myself. But I would
Because
say for other leaders, don't.
that's what makes you a good leader. Is that you inspire us to be better. You inspire us to be more than what we're comfortable with. You have compassion and love. You have your duty. The fact that you're here. Well, you could have stayed another hour gone door dashing, but you came back to come and do this. That's the mark of a good leader.
Oh yeah, I'm willing to take my time and help out. But it goes for a lot of people for these. Sadly, I would say for the leaders of our generations in the past at least 40 years have not been good.
No.
It,
A
not
lot
our lifetime. Our lifetime, most of our leaders have all been
subpar.
fumbling the ball.
Particularly with courage. There's only a handful of politicians on both sides who even have the basic rudimentaries of what courage is. The fact that they're still willing to speak out against someone who literally could primary them if they wanted to. But the problem is like they're waiting until they see how things are going before they show their courage. That's not what courage is.
No, those are people that are opportunists. They're waiting until a certain moment and they're going to react accordingly at a certain time. That's a difference. That's strategy in a certain sense, but that's a cowardice kind of way. I prefer hey, let's all sit here and talk and discuss this and figure it out. And I would like for us to sit here and get it figured out and not leave until at least there's some kind of understanding or some bullet points we can come back to later.
Or just like with the recent budget proposals that is going on in the country, I'm seeing all of the Trump administration officials are just literally just saying platitudes, just repeating the same thing, not being intelligent about the content that they're supposed to be representing. When I'm seeing someone who's like, for example, RK Jr., when I'm seeing the person who's supposed to be at the head of the health department pushing people not to get vaccinated, not to listen to doctors, and he's then saying, "Oh well, you shouldn't take my word for it. I'm not really. You shouldn't get medical advice from me." It's like you're the head of the health department. That is your job. Your job is to be to get advice and give guidelines to these physicians so that they can then know what to do.
Yeah, he has some good things, some bad things about him. I don't believe that you should completely take away vaccinations. I think that keep the old ones that we've had that actually have worked for years. That actually make sense, but not a lot of these new ones, the ones that have came out that don't have good studies. Like we need the studies. What happened to that? The old ones all have the proper studies. There's proper math to them and everything. We're fine.
Like Henry, do you understand that there's currently a measles pandemic going out, spreading throughout the country, and he's not doing very much to stop it?
Yeah, for some things there's natural immunities, for some things there's that is dangerous, depending on how it's being spread. For me, I witnessed a lot of the differences when it came to like the COVID shot stuff and how that I will never take. Period. I don't care what anybody says. Never take it.
Well, I've taken the COVID vaccine. I haven't gotten it updated in a while, but
but the thing is that at one time that's fine, whatever. But like taking the update ones, it's more of a risk, and you're increasing dangers, especially if you start becoming physical. He kills people that are physical once they get to a certain kind of like heart rate, like it's crazy.
So my dad gets it every year because he's at the most vulnerable age that it's most vulnerable.
Yeah, but at the same time, it was never fully finished in studies, and it's still been pulling and proving up, and that's the problem. It was rushed out too fast. There was not enough studies. We were the guinea pigs, and they're getting away with it. And why do you think they made it so? We can't sue them for 2 years. Then they extended that, and then they extended it again, and they weren't supposed to. We can't sue Pfizer. Like my cousins, I had 3 different cousins die from the shot, from the exact same freaking blood clot. All of them were physically perfectly healthy in every way. and all of them were construction workers. All of them were fit like me in every way. And then they get the shot, and just each one by one. And I had to go to 2 of the funerals, and I got to miss the last one sadly. It was, and my cousin Maria and my other cousins lost their mind because they're trying their hardest to go through courts, and they have to keep going back and forth and with this. And it's upsetting that her family is suffering because of this, and they're not giving anything or help or nothing. Not even I'm sorry. Like what do you do with that? Like that there's when it comes to like the old ones, certain shots I agree with, but the other ones, like the newer ones, like there needs to be more studies. And every time you mention the studies, they do this. They don't want to do the studies. They don't want to show the proof because there's something going on with certain ones. And that has been proven with the government. It's been trying to control and mess up people for a long time and make America weak. We were some of the strongest and brightest for a long time. And we've been forced to be dumb by destroying our food, giving us like half plastic, half meat, and whatever else. And half your food still has some kind of insect or rodent in it these days because they don't even check half the time for that stuff, or some kind of poison from the farm that was sprayed all over the food that was taken and handed to you before because they didn't wash it right. And then on top of that, they have the certain kind of vaccines that certain ones make you okay, certain ones don't. Like, notice the flu shot. I've been around. I've had people around the flu never catch it. I get the flu shot. I'm sick as a dog. I'm dying. I'm catching the flu left and right. I can't control myself. No. And I even asked the doctor when he gave me the flu shot, so it's going to prevent me from getting the flu, right? And he says, "Who told you that?" I never went back to that doctor ever again. And after that shot, I almost died. So everybody has different experiences. Maybe it's different body types, chemicals, or what's your genetics are. But I'm thinking certain people are trying to eradicate in some kind of way. And I've been a test monkey more than once and have some crazy stories, but we'll get into those one day because I don't want to randomly have us get cut off if they hit on point on certain government shadiness in the background.
Honestly, I'm very pro vaccinations because vaccinations, despite I agree that they should be doing more studies with these vaccinations before they put them out in the market. They need to be doing more tests. They need to do all that. They need to do the due diligence, and they need to publish these studies so that people can get then independent and normal citizens can look at these studies and scrutinize them.
There's supposed to be several studies a piece.
But I also am for vaccines because the simple fact is that there are diseases that before we had these vaccines were killing dozens of kids over the years. Like, when was the last time you heard of anybody having polio?
Yeah, but some of it also is like kids dying from pneumonia. I was a kid that had pneumonia a lot. I had it several times, and a lot of it was.
Is there a vaccine for pneumonia?
What? No. It's just it's kind of like the common cold, but worse in some way. The common cold technically is the most powerful sickness there is in the world because it constantly is mutating, but it has low symptoms. So that's why it's the most powerful, because it constantly can change. But it kills the elderly often. Common cold does, because it becomes something far worse in the elderly over time.
Particularly those in nursing homes, because it's like basically those nursing homes are basically one giant petri dish.
And then it becomes the common cold becomes pneumonia or such. I've had it many times. I know how it feels. It literally feels like knives in your chest. Every time you breathe, it feels like someone's stabbing you in your lung. Mm-hmm. It is terrifying. You have liquid in your lungs and you start coughing up blood. Yeah, no, not fun. I've had it. It was terrifying. But also,
well, you feel like
on where. Yeah, but the thing was is also how we lived back then too. We didn't have good insulation and whatnot. We weren't using the right things. We were using poisonous stuff around our own houses, asbestos and whatnot, and the things in our paint, like they could kill us and everything. The other thing it came down to that as well is that bad insulation. A lot of kids died from getting sick. Yeah, clothing wasn't good in some ways either, and kids would get sick. Kids would get would die from a lot of different kind of colds at all different times because of this. It wasn't always the shots, and sometimes it was parent negligence, or it was just kid did something stupid, and there was no one there to watch the kid.
Actually, there was a book called Montmorency on the Rocks, where this town, this pure like out of the pure boonies type town, out in the middle of nowhere. This is a town you had to get there by boat. That's how far it was away from people.
That's kind of fun.
And their kids were dying because they didn't realize what was going on. The reason they were dying is because the matron, the woman who was making soap in sheepskin, in how she was making soap and giving the soap to the ladies of the town. But the problem is how she stored it. She stored it in sheep stomachs, and which attracts flies, and then the bacteria on the flies got into the soap, and then the soap, then the moms used the soap on the babies, and the babies got sick and died.
Yeah, that's because of the bacteria and everything, because they didn't have the proper things to clean and cleanse bacteria, and didn't know what microorganisms were back then. Microorganisms are everywhere, no matter where you are. The thing is, your body does have natural immunities to a certain point that can protect you. Your body has a 7-year reset, which that's why sometimes you get sick out of nowhere, have no control, and puke your brains out beyond your belief. You think it's a flu, but it's not. It's just your body getting everything out of you, and you get all your cells have been regenerated. And then you feel amazing for a while and don't know why. I've studied this recently, especially after it happening to me again and me timing it, going, "How that was 7 years." And when you study your cells, that every cell in your body replaces with 7 years, so it goes into that for like molecular and everything. We didn't know, like the same thing for Native Americans. They died a horrible death, a lot of them, from getting blankets gifted and handed to them that had sicknesses on them, and they didn't know. They didn't know that they were handing them these blankets that they coughed on, or they sneezed, or they wiped their hands on, or just their sweat alone or whatever, handing it to them and realizing they couldn't wash them at the time and didn't understand anything about it, and then they'd get sick and die.
Well, and also that was actually, in some cases that was intentional, in other cases that wasn't intentional.
For example, first it wasn't. At first it was an accident. They had no idea. And once they found out, some were being intentional, because some people are cruel.
In their eyes, it's like, I wanted the land, so let's just get. There was a documentary called Steel, Gun, and Disease. Mm-hmm. And this was the Spanish conquistadors going up against the Mayan people, and at first they tried to fight, but they didn't realize that the Spanish had steel weapons, steel breastplates, steel helmets, and firearms, and they had literally a 1,000-man strong army, and they got decimated by this small little group of guys because they had superior weaponry and superior technology.
Because their spears couldn't penetrate.
We'll get into that more next time, as we have to go into our final statements.
Tune in this Friday, 9 p.m. sharp, for the Rolling to Die podcast. DJ Henry the Heartsmace as our GM. What's our theme this week?
Well, we're on part 3 of the Doom Saints for the Mimic / Undead campaign, and how the town got erupted by mimics and the undead. So we have to go and explore and figure out and get the magic books to fight something that's very, very powerful that I have waiting for you. I'll see if you guys survive, so get ready to roll to die.
Tune in there. Be there. Be square. Also, like, comment, subscribe. If you have any lore ideas you wish to contribute to the lore section, comment in below and we'll discuss it and pick a topic, and we'll research it and talk about it.
Yeah, any relationship issues, ask.
And so, once again, we say thank you for joining us this evening. And you can catch us once again next Wednesday at 9:00 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for another episode of the Chaotic Minds.
Fireball!
Again, this is Devontae Ewing, aka DJ Thunderbase, saying thank you and signing off.